Welcome to Houston Sports Talk with your host, Robert Land.
Thanks for checking into the best Houston sports podcast, part of the National Bleav Network, presented by FanDuel. And back with me, Texans analyst Jacob Barzilla, who's at Texans Probe on YouTube. Go check out his work over there. Always great to see you, Jacob. And I want to jump right in because this is so much fun right now. Should this city be more on fire about the Texans being a legit Super Bowl contender? Are you feeling a buzz right now?
I am. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be excited about this. I think with the AFC, the current way that it's structured, this team's very in the mix to go to a Super Bowl. I mean, you look at these teams, and these teams are all teams that they can beat. You know, New England, Denver, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Like, these are all teams that they either have beaten or absolutely can beat. So, I mean, if you're not excited about what's going on, I don't know how else I can get you excited about it just from watching these games.
I don't know where the fans are, but it's fun to see what Jason Braddock showed us or told us on our live Chiefs Texans postgame. You might not have seen it, Jacob. He showed a little bit of frustration with Texans fans. It's worth a listen if you missed it.
This was driving me crazy, especially in the third quarter. Texans were up 10-7. And people talking about they're cutting off the game. That's the rare breed, but there's other people like this is over. And then when it got tied 10-10, I saw the majority shift. This game's over. You're 10-10 in Arrowhead against maybe the greatest quarterback of all time, one of the greatest head coaches. What did you think was going to happen? You're picking apart C.J. Stroud missing passes when Patrick Mahomes is 14 for 33 in this game. I got to tell you, it drove me, and I don't know if I should say this on your podcast, but damn it, I'm going to say it. Texans fans, it's time. 2025. You've had 23 years. This isn't the teams from the past. Let your nuts hang. Let them drop, because this crybaby 10-7, you're winning on the road in Arrowhead. You're, Texans definitely losing this one. Oh, the Texans go, it's 10-10. No way the Texans. You know what I mean? Like, geez, man. Like, and forgive me, maybe I shouldn't have went there, but damn, it drove me crazy. I'm like, man, let's have some backbone. You're Texans. You're from Houston. Have some faith in this team and what they've done this year. That was driving me crazy the whole third quarter, and it's just the whimpering and the we've been here before, and the Texans always shut up. You know, man up. Have some faith in the team. You're playing Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Quit whimpering and being so afraid to lose. And, have some faith your team's going to go out there and win.
Have some backbone, Jacob.
I agree. I mean, I even tweeted after the first shot. I remember after the first shot, it's like, I don't know how we're going to score on this team. Well, I feel like people kind of over-exaggerate this. The offense has to be better than they were in the third quarter of that game. That's absolutely true. But with how the Texan defense is, it really doesn't matter. If the offense can just make timely plays, which they did in this game, they're going to be fine. They're going to be totally fine. If CJ Stroud can, on third down, he can make some big plays and then hit some deep shots to Nico. That's all they need on offense. That's literally all they need. And that's what they got in this game. And that's why they won by 10. I mean, like Jason said, it's not going to look pretty all the time for the Texans. That's not how they win football games. They're not going to light it up more than likely. So it's not going to look awesome on to the viewership, especially on offense, but they win. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. You guys out there, they're Texans fans. Are you going to be mad when they win the Super Bowl 13-10? Is that going to tick you off? I mean, what are you going to do then? I mean, our friends at FanDuel, Jacob, had the Texans 15-1 to win the Super Bowl. But what's interesting is the only teams ahead of in the AFC are Denver and Buffalo. Aren't the Texans kind of a value bet? And should, they be behind the Broncos and Bills?
Yeah, I think that's good value. I was talking to my dad about this actually last night, and I saw them some different places, even just to win the AFC was plus 1,000. I'm like, man, I'd be all over that. They're better than a lot of these teams. I think Buffalo being ahead of them is fair. I think they're better than Denver, though. And I get maybe Denver having home field probably matters too. They're going to be a top seed, but I think they're better than Denver. I think we saw that in the game they played against Denver. I think they should have won that game if Stroud doesn't get hurt and some things just didn't go their way. The RedZone offense in that game was brutal. They just should not have lost that game. And I think if they played Denver again, they would beat Denver. So I feel pretty confident against a lot of these teams in the AFC. I feel pretty good about winning these games, even if they have to go on the road. I think honestly, the cold weather in these type of games honestly benefits the Texans now. Like, we've not said that in the past, but I think now with how they want to play, it actually benefits them to be in these cold weather environments. Like, they have the defense to do it. Their passing game is a more short passing game. They're not taking a ton of deep shots, so that's not super affected by the cold. Like, I think the way that they're structured, they can go win on the road in the playoffs now too.
With this Nick Chubb injury, the Texans waive Jakob Johnson, signed running back Cody Schrader. And Jacob, you're talking to a very biased Texans fan because Schrader went to my alma mater, Mizzou. He's one of my all-time favorite Tigers. He's all heart. For those who don't know this story, he spent 4 years at D2 Truman State before walking on at Mizzou. In his second season, he ran for 1,627 yards on 5.8 yards a carry, was a consensus All-American, 8th in the Heisman voting. And then he sort of bounced around last year in the NFL, Rams, Niners, Jags, last couple of years. What did you think of this move? And were there any bigger name running backs you had your eyes on?
No, I didn't really expect them to claim a running back off waivers, to be honest with you. I thought they would probably just go with George Jordan if, like, from the practice squad or something. But I'm cool with them getting another body in that room because I think they need it. Even if Nick Chubb is healthy, like, Woody Marks is taking too many carries. Chubb's just kind of been in and out. Like, Dara, you're not really going to get carries. Although, obviously, he had the touchdown run. Like, you're not really going to give Dara a ton of carries, more than likely. So just adding an extra body is nice. That's kind of what it is to me. I don't really know if he gets like carries at all or whatever, but just having the extra body if the injuries were to happen. Like, Woody's been beat up, so they needed the extra body just because of that as well. So that's kind of what it is to me. I don't look too hard into it. I also don't know that much about him, to be honest with you. I probably have to sit down and watch and probably some preseason tape or whatever. But I know he was good at Mizzou. I don't mind the pickup, obviously. I didn't expect them to do it, but I didn't mind it. And it says that the running back room is pretty beat up, which is true.
Go to my X. I've got highlights of him in the preseason. And what you'll see there is a guy that can also catch passes. He's not afraid to block either. He's a 3-down type of back. This kid can do anything, and I'm sure he would do whatever you wanted on special teams, which I'm sure plays a part in that as well. Let's go to the offense. Where are you on Nick Caley at the moment? Do you want him back next year, or do you need to see how his season plays out this year?
Yeah, I would say I need to see how the season plays out, but I think Caley has been solid. I don't think he's been bad. He had a bad second half against KC. I will agree with that, but I think overall he's been pretty solid, especially lately. I leaned towards keeping him right now to have the offense be able to bring back, and I think the offense needs more talent still. Like, I think if they can add a running back throughout the offseason, add like a more of a bell cow back, and then improve the offensive line or continue to improve the offensive line, I think that would be a huge help. I think Nick Caley's been solid for this team, so I would lean towards keeping him right now, but I do need to see how the season progresses because Kansas City did kind of expose some things with the offense, but one of the things I've been keen on with Caley is that I think he's adjusted week to week very well. So if he comes out, I know Arizona's not like the greatest test or anything for that, but if they come out next week and, like the blitz stuff, they pick it up a lot better, which I expect them to do, that says a lot about the adjustments from Caley, and I think that'll happen. I think they will continue to adjust well, and that's a big part of it. They have to get better at adjusting in the game, though, I will say.
I'm going to ask our listeners, the viewers, get in the comments, YouTube, want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Do you want to see Caley back? Where are you on him? Do you need to see more? Or you yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down? In case you missed it, look for our Texans Chiefs postgame show. Houston radio sports vet Jason Braddock, who you saw, and of course the bullpen host Tom Chavaria on. It's under the live tab on our YouTube page or in the audio podcast feed for you Rockets junkies. I got one of our favorite analysts on tomorrow. Look for that. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube with notifications so you can get those updates on live shows and all our content. Also subscribe on your favorite podcast audio app as well. All right, Jacob, going back to Caley and this offense, I made the point in our post game that all I'm really asking from this offense is just don't shoot yourself in the foot in the red zone. Just get rid of the O-line and formation penalties. You get 7 a couple of more times a game instead of 3. That's 8 added points. Is that even realistic, Jacob? Am I talking crazy?
I don't really think so. I mean, I think in this game you saw the red zone offense be better. I know that they had the penalties on that first red zone trip, but really I thought they were kind of BS penalties, to be honest with you. I didn't really think they were the correct calls a lot of the time, and I thought they were kind of ticky-tack. So I wasn't like too hard on that. But like you said, they have to clean up the execution in the red zone. And that's probably the biggest thing for the offense, And I would say in this game, they had too many 3-and-outs, which they haven't really done for a lot of the season. They've been able to, dominate time possession. Like that's the biggest thing for the offense, and they've been able to do that. They didn't really do it in this game, like I said, but I think the red zone offense has been better. If they can continue to kind of get better in the red zone, I think that's a huge thing, obviously.
Has too much blame on the lining up correctly, the clock management, the issues getting to the line of scrimmage on time. Has too much of that been put on Slowick and Caley the last 2 years and not enough on CJ Stroud?
To a certain extent, yes, but I do think that's an offensive procedural thing at the end of the day. I think that a lot of that is on the coordinator, but I do think at some point Stroud has to be better in certain situations, and I think it's been better this season than it was last year, and probably I guess rookie year it was whatever. But yeah, to a certain extent, yes. I don't think the penalties in this game were necessarily his fault, though. I think they have to be better at getting the play in quicker and then getting out of the huddle quicker, which I don't know who that falls on, but that's been an issue for 3 years, like you said. So they have to improve at that still. And they've been better until this game, I'd say. But, I think it's a combination of both, I would say.
I've been a big Tytus Howard fan for a few years now. Not only is he an underrated left tackle, fan base, nationally, whatever, but he's performed I'm sorry, right tackle, but he's performed at every position that he's played. D'Amico said it also helps to have a good vet on the left side, helping Ursary now over at left guard. Can you throw out his PFF scores at left guard? And I'm wondering also which position you'd like to see him play long term.
I actually tweeted about this last night about his guard play. So pass blocking wise, since he's been moved there, he's been the 4th highest graded guard in pass blocking, and then 2nd in true pass blocking, which is essentially a true pass set. So it's not like screens, not play actions, like that kind of stuff. It's just straight dropbacks. So he's been one of the best pass blocking guards since he's been moved there, but he's been a really good pass blocker pretty much the whole season. I think he's still more of a tackle. I think he should play right tackle. I think his run blocking is kind of a weakness at guard, but I get that they like him at guard because they have Trent Brown currently, and I get that like Trent Brown they think is better than Jarrett Patterson essentially. I still think he's better at tackle though. I would still consider him a long-term right tackle.
You posted, I mean, this, and it's very important. The offseason, they're going to be set with a ton of draft picks. I don't really think they're going to go into free agencies with all the guys that they've got to worry about on the roster. So you look at all the draft picks that they've got. They could draft both a guard and a tackle this year if they wanted to, but I would say the priority is going to be on guard because you want somebody that's there long term, and it's probably easier for them to find somebody at guard in the middle rounds, which I think is where they're going to want to draft somebody like that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the interior as a whole is probably the priority. I think it'll be interesting what they do with that Ingram because he's been really good in the run game, but his pass blocking has been really bad the last couple of weeks, especially. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think they would like to keep him around, but I don't think they're also going to fork over a ton of money to keep him around. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I mean, they don't have a ton of free agents that they have to like really prioritize. I'd say probably him. If you want to bring Tim Settle back, that could be a big one. Sheldon Rankins is a free agent. EJ Speed's a free agent. Some guys like that, but there's not like a guy that is like a core piece of the defense or the offense that you have to bring back, which is nice to say. Like they don't, like you said, they don't have to do a ton of free agency. They'll make some of these margin type moves, I would assume. But a lot of it could be keeping your own guys and then, maybe find some depth pieces on the offensive line, finding some depth pieces at other positions as well.
Yeah, a couple of those names that you brought up, we're going to come back to them in a second. But one thing I wanted to hit with you, with all the defensive love on Will Anderson, Daniil, Stingley, Kamari, the sort of core column pieces of the defense. Are we just sleeping on Jalen Pitre? Is this improvement in his coverage legit?
Yeah, he's been awesome this season. I mean, he's been one of the best nickels in the league, probably the best, I guess, with Kyle Hamilton. But I've always thought he was kind of underrated in coverage. He was not bad in coverage last season, but he's definitely taken another step this year. D'Amico's done a good job putting him in a role that he's good at. And he's excelling, man. He's been awesome this season. He's been like I said, he's been one of the best DBs in the sport. It's been incredible to watch, honestly. It's been so fun. An easy guy to root for everyone, I think. And so it's awesome to see him playing as well as he is.
Yeah, I guess the issue that I'm dealing with in my mind when I think about him in coverage is there's been a couple of games over the last 2 or 3 years where at the end of the game, he got stuck on a Puka Nakua or was it Wilson in New York with
Yeah.
the Jets game? So there's that, I'm trying to like balance that with, okay, there's the numbers, these PFF numbers, and you've posted some of these numbers, which are amazing. And I'm like, yeah, but I still have that other stuff in my memory.
No, I mean that's fair, and I do think the coverage is, it's still not amazing or anything, but I think they've done a good job of not having to have him cover these like receivers in certain situations. And some teams are going to try to attack it, but it really hasn't. Teams have tried to attack it, it really hasn't worked all that well because he's just played well this season. His coverage has definitely improved. I think his recognition's improved, and I mean he's been huge for this team. Like you said, he's been awesome this year.
Who is your most underrated? Because I brought up a couple of guys on the Texans. Who is the fans maybe sleep on this particular guy? Is it Tytus? Is it Pitre? Or is it somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, those are two good names. I would say before this week, it was probably Tommy Togiai for me, but I feel like now he's gotten his credit. I know we were even on here earlier in the season talking about Tommy Togiai, or even in the offseason. So definitely a guy that we've been on. I guess those two guys on defense, and then offensively, Tytus Howard's a good one. And then I don't know on offense, actually. It might just be Tytus, honestly. I mean, it might just be him. I feel like everyone else is pretty fairly rated at this point.
With no Tim Settle around, you talked about it. Tommy Togiai, 10 tackles, a sack, 2 QB hits in a TFL versus the Chiefs. He's the only defensive tackle this year to put up those type of stats altogether, and just the ninth in NFL history. So I'm curious, Jacob, since Settle's a free agent this offseason, Edwards and Rankins are both 32 years old and aren't under contract beyond next year. Togiai's under contract for $1.35 million next year. Should Caserio try to lock him up on a longer term deal and bump his pay next year, or is a D'Amico defense not worth bigger investments at that position?
I would be all over it. I think Togiai is like the one defensive tackle they have currently that can take on double teams, that has some explosiveness in the pass rush game as well, like has the combination of that, which I think Tim Settle kind of had, but now he's hurt. I would do everything I could to keep Tommy Togiai around. I mean, he's been an incredible find from Caserio and the defensive staff. He's been awesome every single time he's played big snaps, and now you're seeing. I mean, he might be the best defensive tackle on the team. I mean, he's been incredible. I would do everything I could to keep him around as long as I can. I mean, he's only 26, I think, 26, 27. He's a younger guy. I think they're going to try to invest in defensive tackle a little bit more this offseason if I had to guess. So I would try to keep him around for sure.
When he's out there, you know it. Like some of the other guys, I'm like, oh, they played today. Even though, I mean, the defensive tackles have been really good this year. It's like impact plays when you watch Tommy out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's made plays. He's made plays every single time, every single game. He's made a couple run stuffs or he's done something. Even when he's playing limited snaps, that like, oh, there's Togiai. And this game was the epitome of like he played a lot of snaps and you saw what he can do. He played well in the run game. He rushed the passer extremely well. I mean, he was everywhere in this game. And his sack that he had, he just straight up beat the guard. I mean, it wasn't even like competitive. He just was in the backfield immediately. So he's been awesome for whatever, almost a year at this point since they picked him up. So he's been really good since they picked him up, and I'm glad that he's playing so well. And I'm glad they have him under contract for next season because that extension was definitely a good move from Caserio getting him under contract for next year.
Yeah, it was weird with all the O-line injuries the Chiefs had. Danielle Hunter was fairly quiet.
Yeah.
And Tommy Togiai was making all the noise. And, it was the edges that a lot of the Chiefs fans were incredibly worried about going into that game. So just a very interesting way the whole thing played out. Any final Texans takeaways, Jacob? And I'll throw a couple of incredible stats at you. The average passer rating against the Texans would be worse than Cam Ward, who's the lowest of those qualified in the NFL. The Texans have lost 8 playoff games in their history. 8. Okay. They've lost to the Chiefs, Ravens, Colts, and twice to Tom Brady-led Patriots teams. Well, guess what? Assuming they make the playoffs this year, those teams won't be in their way.
Yeah.
No Chiefs, probably no Ravens, probably no Colts, and Tom Brady's not coming back to play for the Patriots, although we'll get to somebody who is a little bit later. But any last thoughts for you just on the Texans overall?
Like I said, I think they're a real contender. I really do. I feel like they can go on the road and beat any of these teams. And if they are able to win the division, which is very, very possible still, they can run the table with some of these teams because you're going to see, like, for example, if they get the 3 seed and they play a playoff game against this, I don't know who the 6 seed would be, for example, but like I said, they win that game, they go in the division. Like, there's a very real shot that the 2 seed loses to one of the wildcard teams because the playoffs are just weird. The 2 seed will probably be New England. and New England could play Buffalo in a wild card game. I'm picking Buffalo in that game. That means that you could get a home game essentially the next round, even if you're the 3 seed. So like that kind of stuff, like they have a real opportunity to play multiple home games that they can win the division. And even if they have to go on the road, these teams are not these world-beating teams that we have seen in the past. Like New England is, whatever the record is, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They've played nobody. Like they don't play good teams. Like they've played Buffalo once, and that's about it. They just don't play a lot of good teams. And again, credit to them. They're a fun team. I like Mike Vrabel a lot. I think Drake May is a really good quarterback, but I don't feel like we go into New England like that's an unwinnable game. I would take us in that game. I think the line on that game would be close. Like even though they're at home, I mean, our defensive line would beat the hell out of their defensive line. It's not like their defense is all that good. So out of all the top seeds, Denver is probably the one that like would be the toughest game because their defense is probably closest to the Texans defense. I think the Texans defense is still a good amount better, but that defense is awesome. But I also don't think Bo Nix is very good. So I think you could go into a playoff game and he's going to give you some mistakes. If you just take care of the ball on offense and you make some plays on offense, that's a very winnable game for you as well.
It's crazy, but Drake May could be the best quarterback that you see in the playoffs outside of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nuts. I just want to veer from the Texans for just a sec, Jake, because you're a Coug. I'm a big time Coug fan, and it's awesome the Cougs got the Texas Bowl against a name brand SEC opponent like LSU. But Jacob, I'm just wondering, can new Colts QB and Grandpa Phillip Rivers put more of his children in the stands than actual Cougs fans? Because LSU travels, they got a huge alumni base here in Houston, and the Lane Kiffin circus is coming to the H.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. I'm going to be there. I'll be there. I'm showing up. I know some of my friends are showing up, but yeah, unfortunately, there's just not a huge like fan base for U of H football, I guess. It's kind of a shame. It kind of sucks. I wish there was more, but I'm going to go and I'm going to have fun. So it's all that matters to me. But yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence in U of H packing out NRG, unfortunately.
Hey, it's a chance to take out an SEC team. Willie Fritz is, just been fantastic.
He's awesome.
I just love watching the way this team is coached. I mean, just really smart stuff from his guys out there.
Absolutely.
And look, I mean, LSU, it's a fun crowd. Like if you're a U of H fan, you can't have a more fun group of people.
Yeah, LSU's awesome.
This isn't a bunch of, jerks from the East Coast. These are Cajuns. This is our people. I mean, they all moved here after Katrina. So we got a lot of LSU fans crawling all over this city right now. And so, that should be a real fun experience. And I'm sure Willie would love to win that game because he was playing stepsister a couple of years ago in Louisiana
Tulane,
at Tulane. So good stuff from the Cougs this year. And I just want to give them their tip of the cap. Tell everybody how they can connect with you and find what you got.
Got you. Yeah. So Texans Jacob on Twitter, Instagram as well. And then Texans Probe on YouTube and Twitter as well. So I think we're going live sometime, either like today, tomorrow, Thursday, around this time. We go into all 22. We get into the tape from the previous week and we talk about kind of preview the future week. So it's more of a laid back podcast. We kind of just talk, go over some tape. It's a pretty fun experience. We usually do it on live, so you can be in chat. You can just kind of ask us questions. We'll always kind of answer. So it's kind of just a fun little thing. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's always good talking. It's good talking about some wins now compared to when we were talking earlier in the season for sure. So appreciate you having me on, man.
If you haven't already out there, hit the sub button for Jacob. It's free. It's a way to just support the good stuff that he's doing. And of course, if you haven't already, hit the sub for us as well. But before we go, just want to thank our friends at FanDuel, FanDuel.com, the place to go, or download that free FanDuel app. And I just want to thank Jacob again. Great stuff as always. Thanks for the time and insight, brother.
Yep. Appreciate you having me on, man.
You're listening to Houston Sports Talk.
Hey, don't forget to support us by subscribing and commenting on YouTube. You can always listen to us on Spotify, Apple, or your favorite podcast app. Tell your friends about us and share our show links on social media. Spread the word, everybody. Thanks for listening.